Hello, everyone. We have a large tornado in Dickens, Texas. So we're on the air now, at least for the next little bit as we talk about this potential tornado. It's currently on the ground, so uh, dangerous situation here currently unfolding. I'm going to currently take care of a couple of logistical things here with the stream, but we have a large, damaging, dangerous tornado near Dickens, currently heading southward of all directions at this time, which is a rather confusing direction to say the very least. But we're going to keep an eye on this thing. We're going to see what's going on with it. But again, a particularly dangerous situation currently unfolding there in the state of Texas. And you can see there the National Weather Service in Lubbock issuing that tornado warning that is currently in place for Dickens County in northwestern Texas. This includes Spur and Dickens. So again, it's a considerable damage threat, 2-inch hail, and a damaging, dangerous tornado. This thing is moving at 25 miles per hour. Now the question is, why is this PDS warning in place? This is nearly right over Dickens, and it has a potent circulation on it. You can actually take a look right now, and it does look like the circulation is past Dickens. It looks rather strong. But again, the question that we're asking right now is, why is this PDS warned? Is it due to the hail, or is it due to the tornado? My suspicion is it's due to the tornado, given just how strong this is currently looking, but we will find out relatively soon as we look at the Lubbock radar here. And again, you can see there that rather strong velocity couplet as I continue to figure out logistics with this. But yeah, that looks like a strong tornado. Radar indicated. So we don't actually know if this is on the ground. However, regardless of that, if you are in Dickens, Spur, Steel Hill, Gilpin, you want to be in your safe place. And that's for a couple of reasons. First things first, we have that potential tornado, but this is also warned for 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 2-inch in diameter hail. So regardless of that, this is still a dangerous situation and one that you don't want to take lightly at all as this dangerous situation continues. But again, we're looking at a rather serious tornado warning here for a tornado just south of Dickens, Highway 82, the intersection between 82 and 70. This thing is to the southeast of that. Um, so that's what we're looking at this time. And again, I'm just getting some stuff sorted out here, and I'll be much more focused once I make sure that we're configured correctly. We weren't expecting to go live tonight, so you'll notice some details here look oddly similar to what happened last time. So I want to make sure that we're properly talking about this here. But there we are. I think I've gotten the logistics figured out. If you're in chat and you have any questions, comments, concerns, please ask me. I'll be happy to answer them. But here we are. We are live with a damaging, dangerous tornado, likely on the ground. This thing is currently south of Dickens, Texas, with a rather pronounced radar signature. No correlation coefficient drop or anything of that nature. That's the good news. The bad news, again, that PDS tornado warning is in place at this time. So that's what we're looking at right now. And I'm not seeing any confirmation of a tornado. But this is a particularly dangerous situation. So please make sure that you are in your safe place. And yeah, this is definitely for the tornado. The Weather Service saying this is a potentially significant tornado located near Dickens, south of Dickens. So what do you do if you're in a tornado warning? Well, you want to get to the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room. That's preferably a bathroom or a closet. You want to bring a helmet with you to protect yourself from flying debris if you have time. So if you're in like Steel Hill or Gilpin, that's fine. If you're in Dickens, you're in your safe place. If you're in Spur, it's close. I'd be in my safe place. But again, this is in Texas, south of Highways 82 and east of Highway 70 in the state of Texas. There, so it's rather substantiated, and this is in southern Dickens County, and remains a particularly dangerous situation as this rather strong velocity couplet is here. Someone asking here, how bad is the tornado going to be? Mentioning the EF scale. Now, we can't give exact ratings until well after the tornado has passed. Then we'll be able to derive via storm damage surveys what's going on with this. Now, we do have some experimental calculations. We have some with directly with wind speed that just involve wind speed, and we have some that involve the significant tornado parameter and wind speed. I don't have access to that. And then also tornado debris heights. That stuff I can't immediately calculate either. But from what I have here, this is on Gibson Ridge Level 2 Analyst, there is currently a 51% chance of this being an EF1 tornado, EF1 or higher, a 13% chance of this being an EF2 or higher, and a 1% chance of this being an EF3 or higher, with a 0% chance of EF4 or higher. Now, again, this is experimental, but this is some real-time strength calculations that we can do to kind of give you an idea of how strong this is. Now, will this actually pan out in the rating? We have no clue. But if that gives you an idea, the odds are that there's likely a tornado on the ground, above a 50% chance of that, and that there is a solid 13% shot of it being a significant tornado, although the Weather Service seems to believe, and they have internal methods that we don't, that this probably is a significant tornado. Now, do we have a tornado debris signature on radar, that correlation coefficient drop? No, we don't. If I show you that, normally you'd see some blue right in around here. We don't see that. And that's why the Weather Service has this as radar indicated rotation. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at this time. Again, damaging, dangerous tornado is likely on the ground here, and we have this curl here as well, so we could have a clockwise or anticyclonically rotating tornado. It's also a possibility here, but we also have some radar echoes indicating that there's probably some pretty big hail in this thing too. So if we look at that, the odds are that we have a rather substantiated tornadic circulation at this time. So we're going to continue to look at that here as time goes on, but right now we do have what looks like could be a substantial tornado, and there is reason to believe that the hail size indicated on these warnings could be a bit conservative. So we'll see, but 2-inch diameter hail there on the tornado warning for this, with 2-inch diameter hail in the severe warning there, and that's verified. That's confirmed hail and wind, not a confirmed tornado. However, we do have reason to believe that a tornado could be on the ground. There's a rather tight tornadic couplet currently with this, and that's again right around here, just south of Dickens, and that's heading again generally in a southeasterly direction, which is a very strange direction for a tornado to be headed, but that does happen here with these circulations. So especially with a situation like today, it's definitely something of concern there. Now, we're going to be live here for at least the next 15 minutes or so. We might go off the air at 45 past. These storms are not expected to produce long-lived, damaging, dangerous tornadoes, and this is already beginning to fizzle out pretty quickly. But there was a PDS tornado warning, so did want to go on the air here for this. Again, that is south and east of Dickens near Steel Hill. So, tornado season, it kind of refuses to die down here. But again, south and east of Dickens, near Steel Hill, Gilpin Spur, we have a PDS tornado warning with what is likely a damaging tornado on the ground. Now, is this thing huge? Is this thing really damaging? We don't know. There's no radar confirmation of that. The Weather Service also saying that this is radar indicated. So we really don't know what's going on with that right now. But, my goodness gracious. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, please feel free to ask, and I'll be more than glad to answer them as this dangerous situation continues to unfold. Now, I want to make something clear here. There is this severe thunderstorm warning surrounding this tornado warning. Now, this is for a destructive severe thunderstorm. National Weather Service says this thing has winds of 90 miles per hour, saying this is a destructive storm for Dickens, and that's for 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 2-inch in diameter hail. So that's the real deal. And then beyond that, there's another circulation here to the north that could potentially be trying to form here, an upper-level mesocyclone that hasn't quite made its way to the surface yet. So that's something of concern for you as well. Not only that, but we do have reason to believe, I at least have reason to believe here, given just how large some of these radar returns are, that our hail could be larger than 2 inches in diameter right now. So lots of dangerous hazards here, all hazards possible with this thing. A dangerous tornado could be on the ground with this, and we know for a fact that there are 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 2-inch in diameter hail. So that's pretty dangerous there, and you can see this is kind of getting this bow shape, and that's good news here for the tornado threat. Bad news for the wind threat. This thing could be bowing out, maybe even shifting direction a little bit. Storm structure is a bit strange, but this is a dangerous situation that continues to unfold here, and there are those velocity couplets. So we have two circulations here, one south of Highway 82, both of them are actually south of Highway 82 and east of 70. The first circulation there just southeast of Dickens, the second one there kind of in between Dickens and Corner Windmill at this time. But both of these circulations could potentially become tornadic at any point. We'll just have to see what happens. Again, this is still a particularly dangerous situation according to the National Weather Service, so we're going to remain on the air here for not much longer. But yeah, this is what we're currently looking at. Right, well, yeah, not too much else going on here at this time other than this tornado warned storm. If you're southeast of Dickens, that's where this possible tornado is. There's another possible tornado embedded within here, but again, potentially giant hail with this storm, especially within this core, and very, very strong winds. Again, 90 miles per hour, and if we take a look at our velocities, you can actually kind of see where those particularly strong winds would likely be. They'd likely be kind of on the leading edge here across this storm's boundary. So see what happens there. But again, this is kind of where our potential for tornadic activity is, but it's more stretched out. So here's the good news. I highly doubt that we have a large, violent tornado on the ground. Like something that's a big old wedge. So my goodness. But that is a rather large storm with very large hail in it. And that's kind of what I was saying, my goodness, at. We have a very large hail core with this. So don't think there's a large violent tornado on the ground with this. There could be a smaller drill bit in here. And again, the Weather Service, I think, still holding this is a particularly dangerous situation. No, they've dropped that. It's good news. So here's what they have now. A tornado warning remains in place until 10:30 for southern Dickens County. This is for a tornado and golf ball sized hail. That includes Spur and Dickens for a storm moving now southeast at 10 miles per hour. Now, this tornado warning is going to expire at 30 past, and given what we currently have, I think I'm going to go off the air at that point, assuming there's not an extension, and if there is, I'll go until 11 o'clock just to make sure that doesn't go crazy. However, this storm does not look particularly conducive to produce tornadoes. It may have produced a brief one, and again, that PDS warning was issued. However, I think good news, I don't think we had a large, violent, damaging, dangerous, super deadly tornado. However, we could have had a spin up. We could have had a tornado that was on the ground for a bit and could have produced some serious damage while it was on the ground. So it's a non-zero threat. It's still something that's rather serious, but I do think that we're not looking at a violent tornado here, which is good. So we'll see. I have some reason to believe here that this is still spinning. I can actually take you to the velocity here. It still looks like this might be spinning some. However, I do not believe that there is currently a tornado on the ground, and this tornado warning expires in 2 minutes, and there hasn't been the issuance of a new one. So I suspect that the Weather Service agrees. We'll see here very soon whether the Weather Service agrees, but regardless of that, um, yeah, we're on for emergency coverage for a little bit for a particularly dangerous situation that was unfolding that no longer looks to be a particularly dangerous situation. So there is a tornado warning still in place for the next 2 minutes. So if you're in Dickens, Spur, Steel Hill, or Gilpin, you still want to be in your safe place. And even if you're not in your safe place for that, once this expires, again, just make sure you're being safe and you're in your safe place because there is a severe thunderstorm warning in place until 10:45 for Dickens County. That's for 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 2-inch diameter hail. And again, we have some reason to believe that could be larger. But yeah, we're going to continue to keep an eye on this with time. So that's what we're looking at there. So again, this is just one county that we've primarily been covering tonight, and that has been Dickens County. So we had a potential damaging, large, dangerous tornado that was on the ground there just southeast of Dickens. It appears that that threat has really gone down. Now, is there a possibility that we still have a tornadic storm? Yes. Is it producing a large, violent, damaging, dangerous tornado? I don't think so. And neither does the Weather Service. They've let that warning expire, and now there is no tornado warning in place at this time. So here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to just go over what's currently happening, what's expected to happen, and what you can expect over the next couple of days. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to ask. But after that, I'm going to be off the air here. So I could be off the air here within the next 10, 15 minutes or so, maybe even less, just depending on how this goes. So let's talk about what's going on right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in place in Dickens County. It's the storm we've been looking at here. And Dickens, you're not in the clear just yet from this. Basically, anyone in Dickens County here needs to be watching this, although they have just shrunken down that warning for Central now Dickens County. So that stretches from the northwestern side to the southeastern side of the county here, as they have shrunken down that warning. And we'll take a look at what exactly that looks like right now. So that's for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and ping pong ball sized hail. So they've downgraded that considerably now as well. So it looks like the storm is a bit weaker. So now 1 3/4 inch hail instead of 2-inch hail, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts instead of 90. So that's what we're looking at there. But if you're in Dickens, you're still in the warning. If you're in Elton, Afton, areas like that, Steel Hill or Gilpin, you still need to be in your safe place there. And safe place for a severe thunderstorm warning isn't exactly the same as a tornado warning. Stay away from windows. That's preferable. Hail up to the size of ping pong balls, that can still bust a window. And debris could fly through a window as well from strong winds. So non-zero threat there, but you want to make sure you're away from windows and interior rooms preferable. Basement, not necessary. Just make sure that you're away from windows. That's the main thing at this time. As we move south here, there is a severe thunderstorm that is in the general direction of Santa Ana here that is currently moving to the east-southeast. This is for 1 3/4 inch hail. It's ping pong ball sized and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. If we take a look at the velocities here, there's some weak rotation, but not too much. And yeah, that looks like that's a big hailer for sure. And luckily, it doesn't look like it's too much more than that right now. So that's severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and ping pong ball sized hail. Actually, golf ball sized hail. I apologize. There, and that's moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. That's for central Coleman County in the state of Texas until 10:45. As we move farther, you'll notice there, those are the only two in Texas. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in Georgia. Don't want to leave anyone out here. That's near Valdosta. And this is primarily for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. So that's severe thunderstorm warning. That's in place for Lowndes, and Brooks counties until 11:45 p.m. That's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. And that includes Valdosta, I-75 at exit 16, Rempton, Blue Springs, I-75 at exit 22, and Kinderloo. So we're looking at there. Radar indicated hail, but confirmed wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So that's what we're looking at currently. If we take a look at future radar here, which we can actually take a look through a nice model called the High Resolution Rapid Refresh, we can actually see what's currently going on there. So I'm going to turn off weather alerts here. I'm going to turn on the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for the night. This is what we're seeing right now. So if I move on from here, what you'll notice is this is about where we're at now. We have those thunderstorms in Texas that are scattered. We have that one there in Georgia. This model's doing a pretty good job of that. But this is where severe weather risk is, that slight risk. And this lasts until this gets to 12Z, which is 7 a.m. Central. During that time, we're going to have that supercell, this main dominant one there, south of Amarillo and east of Lubbock. That one's going to continue chugging along, and that could produce isolated tornadoes. The one to the south isn't looking like as much of a tornado producer, but large hail with those cells. Before an arc of storms moves through Amarillo, that's going to be, it appears around 2, 3 a.m., and then that's going to be rather strong there all the way until around 7 a.m. when we still have storms ongoing on the northern side of this risk. Now, then we head into tomorrow, and we'll take a look at the outlook for that. That's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. That's in the orange there. That includes the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It includes Tyler, Texas. That includes Waco, Texas. Shreveport in the slight risk. Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City in the marginal risk. Now, what we'll see here is this is 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and we still have strong storms occurring here near Wichita Falls at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Now, this is what the radar could look like, not what it's guaranteed to look like. Just note that. And this is around noon. At noon, storms have moved through Wichita Falls. We have some isolated storms in Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, these could be a lot stronger than this model indicates. And if they are, that's where a big-time tornado threat could be. Keyword could, not will, but could. As we continue to move along here, you'll notice there are some storms moving through the Dallas Metroplex around 3 p.m. That's wave 1 of storms that moves through the Dallas Metroplex, and these could be tornado producers, large hail producers, wind producers, the whole shebang, and so could these cells to the south. And then we have these storms near Abilene, south of Wichita Falls, that fire a second round of storms that'll also move through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and point south like Brown Woods, Killeen, and that's going to move through there around 6, 7, 8 p.m. Before this converges into a massive line of storms around 11 p.m. midnight, and then blasts through Texas in the overnight hours, heading in to Thursday. And then you can see there that rather strong complex of storms moves into the Gulf of Mexico. So that's what we're looking at. I'm going to answer this question real quick before I do go off the air. Someone asking, how bad do tornadoes get? Tornadoes can get pretty nasty. And the way that we measure tornado damage potential is what's known as the EF scale. So we go from an EF 0 to an EF 5 in terms of tornado rating. So here's the rating scale. This is courtesy of the National Weather Service, but you can see here an EF0 tornado. These are your best case scenario. You have minor damage, shingles blown off, things like that. You can see damage photos, not too bad. EF1s can overturn mobile homes. They produce moderate damage. They produce significant roof damage. They break windows, things like that. EF2s, that's when you get into significant tornado territory. This is considerable damage. Roofs can be torn off of homes. Some interior walls can even be destroyed in less well-constructed homes. Large trees can be uprooted and tossed. EF3s are strong. These are severe tornadoes. Entire stories of well-structured homes can be destroyed. Significant damage can be done to large buildings, and homes with weak foundations can be blown completely away. EF4s, these are extreme. This is when we get into violent tornado territory. These can destroy well-constructed homes, cars can be thrown significant distances, and top-story exterior walls can be destroyed as well. Uprooted trees, things like that. You can see the damage photos. EF5s have massive damage. These are extremely rare. We haven't had one since 2013. Well-constructed homes are completely swept away. Steel-reinforced concrete structures are critically damaged. High-rise buildings sustain severe structural damage. Trees are usually completely debarked, stripped of branches, and snapped. And you can also see things such as ground scouring occur as well. All right, well, I'm going to stay on for just a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything of that nature, please ask me. I'll be happy to answer them. But if not, I'm going to be getting off the air here in about 2 minutes' time, as the significant tornado threat tonight is relatively low, although it looks like we may have had one there, again, in Dickens County there. So we'll see what ends up happening, but this has been a rather unexpected development. Luckily, though, the storm does look like it does not have the structure really anymore to produce a strong tornado. So again, if you have any questions, please ask. If not, we're going to be going off the air here shortly. Before that, though, if you did like this, you can hit the like button on the stream. And if you want to see more content from us here, especially as we're going to be covering the event tomorrow, please feel free to put in the please feel free to comment about that in the chat here. Please feel free to share this. Please feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications as well. We're going to have a video on tomorrow's enhanced risk that's going to be out likely in the mid-morning, maybe to the early afternoon at the very latest, around 1, 2 o'clock. And again, that's at the very latest. And then we'll go live if there's any sort of serious tornado potential or if an upgrade to a moderate risk, level 4 out of 5, occurs for tomorrow. But again, with that being said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, please ask and I'll be happy to answer them. But if not, I'm going to be going off the air here in about a minute. So that's the way it's looking right now. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and we will see you tomorrow with the video. Just make sure that you're staying tuned for that because we'll have a video ready to go tomorrow on the severe weather risk.